something that we do is everybody that's in our niche, people think they're our competition. I don't think so. We're all part of one big family. I always say that I have, grown the platform only by using by leveraging the power of community and what you can do together with people. And I think that is why it's like the perfect topic for me to talk about also today.
Welcome back. Happy World Social Media Day again. Now, we have a session which is extremely close to heart to all of us here. Building your community and how you engage them, how you take care of your people. And we have none other than the Alina Gandhi here to talk about this. Who better can we ask to talk about this, right? So, Sindhu, over to you. She's going to be your host for today. Before that, you know what I'm going to say? The cool email reminder you got, that was from HandySense. Make sure you check them out. All right, Sindhu, it's all yours.
So, hello everyone. Happy World Social Media Day again to everyone out there. Today we have an inspiring entrepreneur with us, Alina Gandhi. She is the founder and CEO of Social Media Dissect. She's such an inspiring person, and the content reviewing platform will hit your content left, right, and center. They will tell you the best ways the content can be made really good and how your engagement rate can be skyrocketed. She always believes that perpetual learning is the only way and the only thing you could harness on during the unprecedented times of the world. And she lives up to that. And a lot of social media dissects clients have even misinterpreted that the success behind this beautiful content reviewing platform is a male. And Alina just walked out and said, "It's me, the girl power behind this." She is such an inspiring character. She is also a TEDx speaker and an author. We are going to discuss a very interesting topic today: how to build a vibrant community using the social media. She is going to rock the session now. I'm eagerly waiting to listen to her thoughts and hope the same with you all. It's all yours, Alina, waiting to hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much. That was such a nice introduction for me. Thank you. I'm very happy and very excited to kind of share how we can build a social media community, because that's how we initially started building the platform, with the focus on community. So very happy to speak about that. So I'm just going to share my screen so I have some pointers in front of me. And happy Social Media Day to everybody. Okay, so our topic obviously is how to build a vibrant community using social media. And we have not only applied this for Social Media Dissect as a platform from the beginning, but we have also used this for all of our clients. And I think the way to grow from zero to building something on your own completely is to develop a community of like-minded individuals with you. So we focus very much on how you should build a community, and the other pages that are growing also, we tell them that if you want to leverage your social media for anything, then you have to build a community around it. So just to tell you a little more about Social Media Dissect, we basically review all type of content, Indian, international, and we kind of tell you what trends are going on, what is happening on social media, and every kind of marketing activity we review, and we tell you what is good, what is not good, and how you can improve your content. We also educate people in terms of on our social media platforms or offline in events also. So that's the idea behind Social Media Dissect. And like I said, a major part of it was to leverage a community of like-minded individuals, find them and interact with them to grow the platform. So, beginning with what is an online community. Now, this is very specific to online, though, however, offline is also your building a community. You kind of just need to find those people online. So, when you're building a community, you need to understand that somebody that has a similar interest is your community. They do the same things, they have the same habits, then those kind of people are the ones that you need to find on social media. That community you'll also figure out when you know that you have like-minded individuals, which means that their interest matches your interest and they think like you, they work like you, but now not in an offline space but in an online community. So their habits online should be matching to your habits or what you want to sell in terms of a product or service online. Now you also need to find out their habits, as in what they are doing, what they are not doing on social media, to kind of connect and build an online community. That community that does the same thing as you are offering or has the same interest that you have will determine what your community is. Now, again, very important is I want to start with like how you have to build your community, because a lot of people in the beginning get very confused about this whole like community thing, especially on social media, because there's so many people you will never know who exactly is your target. So I'm going to break that down for you. And everything that I'm going to talk about is going to relate to Social Media Dissect because we, like I said, have built it on the same line. So we have tried and tested it and know that, okay, it works. So the first thing that you need to do if you are trying to build a community is find your niche. People need to know why they are following you, and you need to know why people should follow you. Then only it will sink in together for you to build your community. So you have to find out what your niche is, what you want to talk about. Only then will you find your target audience. So for example, you want to talk about cars. Then you know that your audience is everybody that's related to the automobile sector. Now, very large audience, you have to break it down. You have to find out who exactly from that is your target. So everybody that's interested in a car, everybody that can buy a car, everybody that's dealing in cars, or everybody that's just sharing content about cars. So many different segments, but you know that your niche is going to talk about, automobiles, and it's going to talk about cars. So very important for you to find out who exactly you're targeting. Now, a lot of pages that begin, what they have in mind is that, okay, we need to get followers. And that's not as important as finding out what your followers are and who they are. So I always say it's quality over quantity, even on Instagram. So how many of our followers is not as important, okay, as who is your followers. They're actually interested in what services you are providing to them. Now, once you have found out that your niche is, okay, talking about one particular thing, I also recommend not having a very broad niche and a very targeted niche. You have to have obviously an Instagram page or a social media community based on a topic that is not very wide and not very, niche in itself. So once you have found that out, then you need to find out who your target audience is, because then you can target them. So your target audience is basically, like I said, people who are interested, for example, in automobile. Now you need to go and find out what platforms they're using on, because if your mindset is the other way around and you say, okay, now I have to go on WhatsApp and I have to build a community on Facebook and on Instagram and everywhere, that's not going to work out. You need to find out the platforms that your audiences are using. So for example, if you are selling products for children, your target audience are mothers. Now, mothers don't use LinkedIn, for example. So for you to be on LinkedIn is not going to be as helpful as for you to be on WhatsApp or on Instagram. So finding out your platform according to your target audience is going to be important for you to then build the community around it. WhatsApp groups work very well for mothers if you're trying to sell a product to their children, because they are the buyers of your product. So you need to find out that, okay, this is the platform that my consumer is using and I'm going to stick to that platform to kind of leverage that. Instead of being everywhere, focus your energy on those platforms that your audiences are on. Now, another thing that people again miss out is that they're looking at the broader picture all the time, number of followers, engagement, all of that. you have to understand that when you're trying to build a community, you have to start very, very small. So even if it is an email list of 100 people, or you have a community of 50 people, that's where you build it from. So if you have 50 people, you make sure that your 50 people are very engaged, very happy with the content. You take feedback from them and understand, okay, then you can build it. So everything starts from small. When my efforts even today on social media are the same that I put where I had 2,000 followers, we would do polls, we would do questions, even though our engagement wasn't so high. Today, if I put out a poll on Instagram, I will get so many people replying to it. But that doesn't mean that if I have a small audience, I won't take that same effort, because only then will you grow, right? If you think that, okay, I don't have so many followers and I don't think it makes sense to use this feature or to use this platform, then you're going to kind of lag behind everybody else. You have to take the same effort in the beginning also. Start small and don't aim at, okay, I want these many people. If the aim has to be, okay, how many other people I have, they need to be happy with my services, and I need to understand from them how to build a better product, or how to refine my service. That's going to be a small start, and which will grow later on. Now, again, once you are small and when you're trying to build a community, very important to test out the market, which means that you need to understand what it is that people are liking and what it is that people are not liking. So you may have a lot of competitors and you'll do a lot of research and find out that, okay, you know, this is working for them, but you never know what's going to work for you, because you are different from a different platform. So what you're going to do to build this community is test out with that small number of people what they are liking and what they are not liking. For example, again with Social Media Dissect, in the beginning we had different content pieces going out. What we would do through our journey is ask our audiences what would they like to see. Obviously, with engagement and with the numbers, we would come to know, okay, this is working, this format is not working, this we should change. That is very important if for you to build a community, because then your community will be like, okay, they're working for us and they're making changes according to us and they're giving us what we want. So your core value stays as it is, but you have to keep changing in terms of what your audiences are liking and what your audiences are not liking. A very important part of social media is to understand that sometimes we want to create content that we want to create, but it's very important to create content that others want to see, because eventually they are your users and they are your buyers. So if you keep creating content that you want to see, it might not always help the other person. So take that feedback, do that testing period in the beginning when you're starting a community to kind of get that knowledge from them on what they like, and then review your content accordingly. Now, again, in the beginning, when you're starting out, you're like, you know, how do I get to building a community of like-minded individuals? You have to start with your personal network. And I don't mean like spamming people in your personal network and going like, you know, follow me or something like that. But when you have a personal network of people that might be interested in what you are doing. For example, if you want to sell shoes and you know that there are so many girls that you know, or so many women that you know might, you know, take buy or be interested in the shoes that you are selling, target them, ask them. They are going to be your first kind of feedback. They are going to be your first customers. So with them, and it's also personal network, so you get a better idea and a more personal way about how you can build your community. So leverage that personal network that you have of people in the initial stages, which will then eventually turn out to be a community. This is when you start small and try to build a community. Now, moving on, what are some of the practices when you are building a community? Again, is very important. Now, a lot of different audiences are going to come when you grow in, and that community is kind of going to get divided. This is what I've seen with personal experience of so many years, is that all your audiences are not the same. There's going to be different people, and there are also going to be different actions that they are taking. Okay, so I'll tell you what I mean by this is, for example, we have a community of marketers, but not everybody does the same thing. There are people that only view your content. There are people that take action on your content. Then there are people that might want to talk to you about the content that you are putting. then somebody will give you feedback. These are different set of people, and you have to target them how they are. So what we do on Social Media Dissect is I'll give you an example. So when we go through our DMs, there are different types of people DMing us all the time. There are marketers, there are agencies, there are professionals from the industry, there are CEOs. I don't talk to everybody in the same way. And that's how your brand language should be, not one for all. It has to be individual, because then you're leveraging your community. So if a CEO or say, for example, an agency messages us, the language that I reply to them in is obviously very formal. It's going to be like I'm talking to a senior person from the industry, or I'm talking to a big agency. That is going to be different from how I speak to, for example, a creator, and they go, oh my God, I love this. Oh my God, can you check it out? And with that same level of enthusiasm, I will reply to them. I'll be like, I will go all extra out there because they are showing me so much love. So I'm going to show that love back. Why would I react like a company that's, sending formal messages and emails to them? If somebody's talking to me with so much enthusiasm, then that's the same enthusiasm I talk to them in. But we have to be, again, very careful, draw the line, and also understand that your audiences are different. Not everybody you can talk to in a very enthusiastic way, because like I said, if it's a CEO messaging you, you have to be formal. But if it's, a girl who's trying to get into the field of marketing and my page inspires her, I am going to be excited for her and be like, yeah, this is, what you should do, and this is how you should do it. So segregating your audience, because all of them are different, is a very important practice. I started from the beginning, and I have seen help in the formation of our communities. I don't talk to everybody in the same way. Mostly I'm very enthusiastic, because that's what we have leveraged for our community. What I have always built it on is that you don't always need to be like a brand behind the page. You don't always need to be a company behind the page. People can approach you as if you are a person, and that's the vibe that we went for. Everybody has kind of different approach to it. My approach to my brand was that everybody thinks that, okay, there's a person I am talking to behind it. So that's one important thing that we leverage. You have to find out what works for you, how you want your brand tone to be in order to build that community. Now, help others for free is, I cannot stress on the fact that when you're starting out new, and when you're starting out in the beginning, you have to do things for others for free. For example, you have to give out tips on social media. You have to do some affiliate marketing for free. You have to just provide a lot of knowledge and do it for free, because then you're going to be able to, the community will be like, okay, I'm getting so much from this platform. I'm getting so much audience, or I'm getting so much knowledge, or I'm getting so many tips from this. So I'm going to stick on to this platform. So a few things that we did, for example, in the beginning, is that when somebody asks us, can you tell us how to set up a Facebook shop page? I would be like, okay, this person not going to Google, and they're asking me because they think that my answer is important. So I will sit and I will reply to them. So I would give knowledge free. I would give consultations free. I still address people in my DMs that have any queries as it is. So if there's somebody asking me a question, I will give it. So if you are trying to build a community and you're trying to build it from scratch, it's very important that you help out other people and give your services for free. This also applies to, for example, you're starting a digital marketing agency. Since we're talking about digital on Social Media Day, then, or a social media agency, and you want to give services, but you have no work to prove from before, then what you have to do is kind of take a consignment for free and do it pro bono, for if you want them to see your work. Only then are they going to be like, okay, this is good work, because otherwise how else will they see it? So offer free social media posts, or offer free social media plans, or, tell them that I'll make a video for you for free. Or maybe if it's a bigger account, I'll do 1 month for you for free, and then you can see my work. And then, you have to kind of leverage that for your business, or if you are an individual, on social media and on digital, to kind of build your community, your network, and everything related to it. That's also share knowledge, which we do day in and day out. And we're going to show you some screenshots later in this PPT also. Another thing is feedback. Now, what happens, a lot of people just feel like everything is hate. Everything is not hate. There's a lot of constructive criticism that will come to you online and offline. Online more, obviously, because the people that you know will be like, okay, everything's good. But listen to the ones that are telling you that this is what you need to improvise, or this is something that seems weird. Listen to them carefully, understand what they're trying to say, and then you can go back and kind of formulate a strategy to address that problem. So, for example, if somebody tells you this kind of content is not needed on the platform, and this has happened with us, where there was one post that we did where everybody was like, this kind of content during the pandemic is not needed. And I kind of thought to myself that, if so many people are saying it, maybe it is not. It was part of my post bank and part of posts that were going to go, and you have to change it according to changing situations. But that didn't come to our mind, and that happens. So what we did is we kind of went through, took that feedback, I went back with my team and I was like, we're getting this. Do you think that we should take it down? And we all collectively took a decision that, this kind of content right now is not okay. Maybe we put it up at a certain stage, but there's unrest right now, there's problems, there's pandemic, etc. So let's take this post down and do it. So the feedback that you're going to get from people is going to be very, very important. Feedback also in the terms of you're showing this kind of content, but we need to see this kind of content. Like I spoke about, that the content that they want to see is what you should be putting out. So listen to the feedback that is going to, if you take an effect, for example, there are a lot of people that message me saying that, this content should have been like this and this is wrong, okay, for you to ask this question or example. And it's happened a few days back only, and I replied to them that's giving out my point of view, but also saying that this is something that we stand for or something that we agree. And they were so happy that we had a conversation with them. I was like, this person is going to lash out at me, but they didn't. They were like, we're so happy that a brand behind, Social Media Dissect is answering us and is taking my opinion into consideration, which is what you should do. Even though I don't agree with what that person said, I would have not changed my content according to that. But for me to address it is me building a community, me building faith with that person. And that person is then going to stick with me in the long run, saying that this is an appreciative page that is listening to what I have to say. When you don't listen, you're basically ignoring somebody. Imagine doing that offline. When somebody's talking to you and you're not replying. So how will you build a community if you ignore people? That doesn't work. So online, when somebody's saying something that is different from what you think, it's important to address the fact. It's important to just answer, just listen and just talk to that person, because that's how constructive feedback works. That's how a community is built. The other thing you need to do for building a community is stay active and stay connected with the people that you have built a community. So for example, you've built a community of 500 people. Now you can't, focus on different things and completely forget about them. So what you need to do is you have to keep telling them about your service or about your product or whatever it is that you have for them. You have to keep reminding them. And not in a selly kind of a way where, okay, like buy my product or take my service, but you have to tell them what is the benefit of taking your product or what is the benefit of taking your service, and stay connected with them. A lot of pages I've seen, or a lot of social media communities, they have a community and then they, kind of be like, okay, now we have so many people, that's okay. No, but you have to go back and you have to stay connected with them. It's very important. They will feel like, okay, this person is there, this person is, this community is there where I can, put my information on or take information from, whatever it is. So through your emails or through your posts or through your programs, referrals, whatever it is, just stay active and stay connected to them. That's going to help in the long run. Now, again, something that's going to come in later also, but using messages is very, very important, because I think the more open rates than emails are of, DMs and Facebook messengers and WhatsApps and all of that. So using that and leveraging that to build your community is very important, even though it is a lot of hard work, and it's very, especially when you get so many DMs, it gets kind of, too much to reply to everybody individually and separately. But that is in the long run, that is what is going to make a difference. So you rather put in the hard work if you're in it for the long term. When I say use messages, is to connect to people, to answer them, to start a conversation, to sell your product. Anything that you think of, you have to use messages, you have to use DMs. They are, I feel like, more beneficial than sending out emails. If you want to people to open your link or open a message or go to another page, messages are doing that better now than emails are. So leverage messaging for your community. The other thing of building a community, now your community is not restricted to the people you have to also grow it and find out where they are. So your people are going to be on other pages that are doing the same thing as you. So like I said, for example, if you're a shoe brand and there's another shoe brand that has a larger audience or a lesser audience, whatever it may be, it has an audience that are interested in shoes and they are not on your page. So how will you get them to your community is you have to interact and engage with that shoe brand. Now, a lot of people say, oh my God, it's my competition and I can't, and this and that. Again, something that in today's time you should not focus on. You should focus on collaboration over competition. So, and for whatever ways you can't collaborate with that person, then you need to still be seen in your targeted segment. So if there's another shoe brand, you go and comment, you go and talk to people that are messaging on that page, or because then they need to see that you are there on Facebook or on Instagram or on LinkedIn, and once they see, they might come on your page because they have the same interest as the shoe company. So they are going to go and see your page. If they like your shoes, if they like your footwear, they are going to probably be your followers also. So that's how you leverage another person's community for your advantage. So again, relating this to Dissect, something that we do is everybody that's in our niche, people think they're our competition. I don't think so. We're all part of one big family. And if there are marketers on any other page, for example, on your page, if Storytellers has marketers and I want to connect with them, I will use your platform and I will be like, okay, everybody that's watching this video, please come to Social Media Dissect if you haven't and check out our page. And that's exactly what you should do by collaborating with others in the same niche. Use their audience, and we are all into one whole big community. So help each other and put your content out on other platforms. That's how you're going to get them. Then we have ORM, again, very, very important for your audience. You just have to be very active and out there, I think, is the whole gist of it. But online relationship management in terms of messages and DMs, I've already said, but in terms of commenting also is very important. So we have a lot of creators, a lot of people in comedy, a lot of memers. I keep everybody's post notifications on, and whenever they post something that is relevant or post something that I can talk about, I go always and leave messages on their posts. What this does is that if I'm amongst the first one and I make the most sense, other people that are looking at his post or her post are going to be like, okay, there's, this comment is so good, they're going to go and see who it is behind it. So you have to leverage that. You have to get your audience from there also. So doing ORM in terms of that is very important. One, doing ORM in terms of just replying to people in the comment section is very important, because they are the ones that are taking their time out and messaging you or talking about something that you've put up on the page. It's very important that you tell them that, yeah, you're listening, and here is like a reply, that thank you, or whatever it is that you have to talk to them. It's important that you have that practice. Other than that, just knowing what people are talking about you is, I feel like, very important. If anybody's mentioned you somewhere, if somebody has tagged you somewhere, I know the bigger accounts kind of find this difficult, but if you are small and if you are growing, then for example, we have about 70,000 followers, and anybody tags me on story or anybody tags me in a post, I always check it out. I always go and see what they are talking about me. Anywhere on the internet. It can be, not on my page, somebody else's page, but somebody is tagged saying that, Social Media Dissect, etc. So I'm going to go and I'm going to check out what they're talking about me. And if I can, I will definitely leave a reply there. Now, encourage different point of views. Again, something that, like I said when we got that DM, just addressing the fact that somebody has said something about your content has to be very important in building a community. Everybody is going to have a different point of view, but taking their point of views in consideration is important. So if somebody is saying something about your content that might not be 100% positive for you, you still have to kind of let that be, because you have to encourage a discussion. What we do on Social Media Dissect is put out a lot of copy posts, and we have a lot of people talking a lot of different things on that copy post, and we encourage everybody's opinion to be there. We give our opinion, we give what is happening, and everybody is free to kind of give their point of views in our comment section. And I think that is very important, and we can then reply to them or tell us what we think. We stop hate. If somebody is hating and just like writing awful comments, etc., or DMs, we kind of block those people and block hate. But if somebody is giving a constructive criticism, then we make sure that we are replying to them. Now, I'll also tell you how we do it on Social Media Dissect, because that, I think, practical experience is more important than me just kind of giving a speech. So there was this offline, for example, we did an offline workshop where we were teaching how to build a brand on social media. I leveraged DMs, and I sent out a message to everybody that would interact with me and tell them that, we are hosting something and you might be interested in it. And, it's a workshop on social media, and, they are my target audience. So I send out a message to them, and my not only open rate and replies, but the turnout on the event was so good just through leveraging my DMs. So that's one practice that we did. Then we do a lot of polls and questions. So anything, for example, day before yesterday, Instagram is glitching in terms of telling you insights on the posts. And this is all over the internet. We got a lot of questions and we couldn't see our insights also. The first thing that I thought of is, we have to ask our audiences what is happening with them. Are they going through the same thing? Only then are you building a community talking about the things that are mattering to you. It matters to me, my post insights are not seen. So I'm like, what is happening? Let's just ask our people, are they facing the same problem? And then a whole conversation follows. So I've just put up a poll and you can see the answers to the poll, but I get 100 other messages saying that, why is it happening? How do we solve this? When is Instagram going to fix this? Or how long is it happening? Then you're building a community. Then everybody's listening to you. Everybody's like, okay, they're facing the same problem everybody's facing, because everybody's confused what is happening. And this is just one incident. We do this on every occasion. We ask our audiences. Fair and Lovely removed their, Fair from their branding. And we asked our audiences again that, what do you think about it? Do you think it's right? Do you think that it's still not justified because they're selling the product? We ask our audiences. And because not only it's trending and, everybody's talking about it, but also because we want to build a community, right? We all want to talk about the same thing and we all want to discuss it and we all want to be together in this whole conversation. So things like these are, I think, very, very important to kind of build your audience. So that's how we leveraged it here. And then we have, like I said, when we reply to other pages. So for example, Ad Parody is a meme page that I really, really like on social media. And we always make sure that whatever they're putting up, we put up some kind of answer to their posts, because they ask, and it's good to be relevant and staying in the news and, having everybody else look at us. So this is one example of how we kind of asked, we kind of replied, and then they reply back. So, that comment goes above. So wherever it is, on Instagram, you're going to see that, your post is seen more often. And even on LinkedIn, for example, if I am personally tagged in something, I make sure that I reply. And if our page is tagged in something, and we get tagged a lot on LinkedIn also, we go and reply on their pages so that everybody that's following that page will also see my comment. That's very important. We leverage polls, etc. a lot, and questions. Like I said, it's not just we're doing it now because we have an audience. Even when we had a smaller audience, we were doing such things like, asking people questions, asking people what they want to know, what they want to do, which brand, for example, over here, there was which brand everybody, while social distancing, the brands did a social distancing post themselves where they kind of distanced their logo or their, brand name. And we asked our audiences, what do you think which is the best brand that has done it most creatively? We get so many answers. There were brands that we also didn't know, that have done such a good job. And then we find that out, and then we repost it and we share it. And we also tag the people that ask the question. Very important in building a community. I always say that I have, grown the platform only by using by leveraging the power of community and what you can do together with people. And I think that is why it's like the perfect topic for me to talk about also today. And I can keep going on. The other thing that, I missed this slide. So I know that my target audience is marketers, right? And we talk to them, we, engage with them. But I also want to, in the beginning, wanted people who are industry leaders to kind of follow me. And now how do I get to them? It's they're professionals and they're bigger and, and they honestly don't have the time. But I was like, if it's, what I did was, if it's their birthday, or if they've done something nice, or if they've won an award, or, something like that, I was like, let me use that and let me talk to them. And, we'll see how it goes if they reply, etc. And most of the times, everybody has landed up on our page, started following us, and then they have told us that they really like the page. So when I was targeting marketers, I know that my content is going to get them. But when I was targeting CEOs of all digital marketing agencies, I did it personally. I added a personal touch to it. So I would message them, say, on their birthday, and be like, from Team Dissect, happy birthday. And they would be like, okay, this brand cares about me also. So they would go on my page and follow me and, talk to me. And not only that, then we, for example, over here, we spoke to somebody that was doing a talk on, a digital marketing and coping, how our agency is coping with COVID. And I watched it. And I replied to that person saying that, it was so insightful and so helpful. I really liked it. And and I didn't think I would get a response, but their response was that they have been following our page and they really like our choice of content. So these small little things are so important to target people and to find your, niche of people and have them look at your content. So that's something I leveraged. And there's like also what we do for our community is, like I said, somebody asks me anything, I always answer them, even if it is taking my time, if it is not of monetary value, it doesn't matter. Somebody asks me, how do you get approved for shopping on Instagram? And, I ask them a question and they be like, we're stuck over here. What do we do? How do we get the Instagram shopping page? How do we get verified? How do we get more followers? Every single thing we answer, we send them links, we send them information. And then these people are the ones that are backing our community, backing our company, and, are so fond of what we do. That's why they stick around. And that is important for you to have them stick around in the long run and then convert them for whatever your purpose of the platform is. Now, again, some tips of building an online community is sharing member content on your site, which is, again, very important. If somebody does now my platform is obviously based on sharing content that other people are doing. But if you're creating content yourself, then it's very important if anybody's talking about you share that. One. Second, you share what other people are doing in the same field that you find very interesting. So if you do fashion, and you do fashion blogging and you do fashion videos, if there's somebody else, don't think of it as competition. Think of it as, oh my God, they've done such a nice fashion video. Let me share it with my set of followers. What happens then is you're sharing your community's power, leveraging that, and then, maybe that person will share it on their content, and then both of you benefit from it. You have to look at it from that point of view. And not only that, if there's somebody, for example, like I said, if you're a fashion blogger and somebody has recreated your look, okay, then it's very important to let them know that you saw it, message them, or repost it for everybody to see that, okay, this person has so nicely tried to, replicate what I have done in the sense of making a fashion video. I have given out a style tip and this person has actually tried it. Share it, because then you're going to be more valued. Some of the influencers that do this all the time is, Komal Pandey, or if you see Mostly Sane, anything that they do, they share a lot of content from people, from their followers, and that builds their presence also and gives their community a more sense of, togetherness in the community also. Now, creating forums for discussion again is very important. However you want to leverage discussions, it's important that you do it on whatever platform you want to do it. In your comment section, you want to create a group, you want to have a Facebook group, whatever it is, or LinkedIn. There are so many discussions always happening on LinkedIn as a platform. It's very important that you create that kind of content and also be part of a lot more, because then you're, like I said, being relevant and staying relevant online. So very important for you to follow discussions and go through, start discussions and topics. Okay, then you're building yourself as an industry leader. Now, leveraging lives on all platforms and just talking to your audiences, again, very important part of social media. And letting that, I feel like letting community have power over your brand is very important. So in the sense that, for example, somebody tells me you should do this piece of content, I inculcate that and put it out for my audience is very important, because then you're giving that power to your audience to actually, they think that, okay, my idea has come to life and it's on Social Media Dissect, or it's on this platform that I gave this option to. Very, very important to leverage. Also, the ideas are so good. Sometimes you get kind of restrained on what to do and what not to do. If you're telling, somebody's giving you an idea, might as well incorporate it. For example, somebody told us that, why don't you tell us what agencies are behind brands? And I sent it to my team and I was like, why haven't we done this? We should do it. We should tell our audiences what agencies are behind. So they are giving me the idea. I'm leveraging it. And I'm also telling them that, this is a great idea. Thank you so much for it. And we are going to definitely incorporate it. So just all of that helps in building a community. Now, the last thing that we have reached to is that this, I have to say, is the most important thing, is that this is a long-term game. This is going to benefit you in the long run. I have been doing these small things like messaging people and replying to people and, sending DMs, comments since the past 2 years on only Social Media Dissect. We have a lot of other brands that I have worked with in the past that I have done this for, but only in terms of Social Media Dissect, we have been doing this for 2 years straight and now are reaping the benefits of it. So it is not, if you want to do this for 4 days, you want to do it for 1 week, you want to do it for 2 months, it's not going to help. What you need to do is keep doing this every single day for a long period of time, for it to actually give you rewards, and for it to actually, you might honestly feel like I'm doing this every day and I'm not getting any return out of it, already. And that's the attitude that people kind of leave things in the middle of, and you leave whatever you're doing because it's not reaping you benefits. But only if you stayed longer enough, you would know that it's all going to be beneficial. So anything you do on social media, not just, building a community, but just posting or just kind of giving information, you're like, I'm doing this for free for so long and nothing is happening. That something will happen, but it's going to take time, and you have to be patient and you have to be consistent. You have to keep doing it for a long period of time. Only then you will be successful in your life, in your business, or on social media. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I want to end this with is that if you are building a community, you need to kind of leverage that community for converting it into a sale or a lead or a website visit or engagement, whatever your goal is on social media. You don't want them just to be on social media. You want to leverage it. You want to sell your product or service to them. That's why you're using social media. Or you want to generate an emotion, or whatever it is that you're doing. You're only going to be able to do it if you're going to do it for long enough. If you're going to do it consistently for long enough, then you're going to do. But leveraging your social media is going to be very fruitful. For all those of you that stop doing it in the middle, I have to say, that only if you keep doing it will you eventually say make money or sell your product or have an influence. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have to keep doing it consistently in the long run for you to get to your goal, and that goal in the end is your sales or leads or website visits or whatever it is that you're trying to gain out of social media. Yeah, I think that is it. I am ready to take questions now.
That's fabulous, Alina.
Yes, I'm really sorry to interrupt. Alina, if you don't mind, can you please stop sharing again so that people can see
Yes.
your face fully?
Yes.
Please send the audio.
Yes. Thank you so much, Alina, for such an
I hope that it was helpful, and it's kind of going to help again the community that we are talking to.
Definitely, no doubt at all, Alina. It was such an insightful presentation. I'm going to get a copy of it just after this recording because it covered so much of details, and I'm quite impressed by the way that you told how the way you have to, how should you react to the critical constructive criticisms and how you should react with them. Even with the negative criticisms, you should listen to them and try to get where they are coming from and what they are trying to say to us. That's quite inspiring. And yes, nothing is going to happen overnight, and you have to work hard for a long time, and then only you can reap the benefits of it. Thank you so much. And we have questions for you, and we have collected a few questions from our community members. And here is the first question. Which is the best social media platform for community engagement?
For community, you can build a community anywhere. It depends on what your audience is. Like I said in this before also, that you can leverage a Facebook group also, you can leverage social media in terms of Instagram also, LinkedIn also. If you're targeting professionals, it will be LinkedIn. If you're targeting mothers, it's going to be Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups and Instagram also. So it depends on your target audience, but you can leverage any social media. All these popular social media platforms have a large audience, and your audiences are probably on those platforms only. So you can leverage any platform. It just has to depend on where your audience is.
Oh, fine. That's a great point. So the next question is it a good idea to use the community to promote or endorse our services?
Again, depends on what you're doing. So for example, if you are doing personal branding or you're trying to influence people, obviously then it makes sense for you to be personally attached to the brand. And if not, then your product can do the talking itself also. Not necessary that you have to be there, but if you're trying to be a thought leader, if you're trying to influence people, if you're trying to get your voice out there, whatever it is that if you're personally trying to do, you want a personal brand, then it's important that obviously you, the person behind the brand, product, or whatever it is on the front of it. But if your focus is just selling a product, then you don't necessarily have to be seen everywhere. Your product can do the talking for you.
Okay, great. So the next question is, at one point, the brands or business want to make money out of the community. Is it safe to keep the community away from monetization or focus on revenue based on ROI too?
I feel like eventually you have to monetize your community. Otherwise, if it's obviously an NGO, then it doesn't make sense. Then you're all together for a good cause. But if you are in it for business, and if you are in it for whatever it is, you should leverage it. Why not? And there, for example, there's the page very popular on Instagram, and they were just creating posts. And when we got in touch with them, I was like, how come you don't monetize it? And by monetize it, I don't mean take money in whatever way from your audience if you don't want to do that. But because you have an influence, you can take, do sponsorships with brands, because brands want your audience. Brands want people to see the content, that you are making and get that audience. So they are going to eventually monetize the platform for you. So if you have an audience, why not, kind of, if you want to, for example, sell a service and say that you want to sell a course on something that you're very good at. So you're very good at graphic designing and you want to build a course around it. Why not leverage your community? Because you're not doing it only for your benefit. Do something that is for others' benefit, that is going to help you monetize the platform. And then you'll be able to make money and you'll keep your community happy also.
Yes, that's interesting. And the next question is how to deal with the community members who dilute the value or vision of the community.
Okay, this we get a lot. So I don't think that if somebody is completely negative, they should even be a part of your community. Like, let them go, let the hate go. Because what happens is, when you're behind the page, you put on, or the community, and you put so much effort into it, no? And if you're not strong enough, it kind of gets to you. It kind of affects people very badly, and especially young audiences or inexperienced audiences. If you're doing something like that and you're building a community and you get hate, if you can't deal with it, let them go. And if you can deal with it, just be responsible enough to know what action you're supposed to take against what. So if somebody is spreading hate and negativity constantly on your community, please, like, very nicely either tell them to leave the community or you remove them from your community, because it's eventually your community with the kind of people that you want in the community. So it doesn't make sense to have somebody that's not aligned with your thought process. And then, like I said, it's not easy for everybody to deal with it also, so I always say, if you're behind the page and if you're kind of, not strong enough, but you want to get there, let these people out, of your site and of your community completely. What I do is that, I understand that that's going to come. So, and with the kind of platform and discussions that we have, I know that there are people that are not only going to criticize, but kind of cross the line also. But I also feel like, okay, I have so many years of experience. I know how to deal with these people. I know that if I say this to them, maybe, they'll understand, or maybe take the criticism well, or, whatever it is that I do, depending on the person. But if it is just hate, and if it is just not good criticism, then you have to let go of that kind of member of your community. You're muted.
Am I?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. The last question: your suggestions to make the community engage during this pandemic or during the critical times?
No, I didn't get you. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat?
Okay. Am I not audible?
Now you are, yeah.
Yeah, we lost you in between, Sindhu.
So here's the last question for you, Alina. What are your suggestions to make the community engaged during the unprecedented times like this pandemic?
I feel like it's more than ever that you should engage with your community and be there for them and kind of engage with them, because your digital, people that are on digital is much more. The time that they're spending online is much more. So it's more important that you take this time to leverage your community, to share your ideas, share your thoughts, sell your product, whatever it is that you want to do during the pandemic is a better time for digital, because everybody is online. But you have to remember to do it subtly. You have to understand that there is a situation going on, and you can't only talk about yourself. You have to address the problem. You have to change your content in terms of okay, there's something going on. I can't just keep talking about my product. For example, there are restaurants, and if you're a restaurant, you have to understand that you have to give out your safety measures according to the pandemic. And the community that you have of foodies or people that visit your restaurant, you have to understand, you need to tell them about the safety measures that you're taking, and that the safety measures that everybody is taking around in the restaurant, the people working at the restaurant. Only then will your community at this time have faith in you. For example, we talk about mental health every now and then, and not as an expert, but just having a discussion around it. Very important because everybody's going through that. So this time for us is to leverage that community to kind of spread positivity and kind of talk to everybody about, okay, there's a situation and you're stuck at home and it's not normal life. So how can we help you? Let's talk about it. Or how can anything make it better? So digitally you have to be a little more sensitive, but it is the time for you to go out there and talk to your audience because they are spending so much more time on their phones.
Thank you, Alina, for being patient enough to answer all these questions. Thank you so much. You have covered a lot of details, and thank you for your time. I know you're quite busy with all the content dissecting and all, but still, thank you so much.
It's a good thing that we as digital creators are busy during this time, and it's actually a privilege to be busy at this time. So I'm more than happy that I could answer some questions of your community and hope that the platform also grows and we keep associating even further.
That's great. That's a great news for us. It means a lot to the storytellers community. Thank you so much, Alina. We'll definitely be in touch with Social Media Dissect.
Thank you for that. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's us. We have to thank you a lot. Thank you so much, and hope everyone out there enjoyed this session a lot. And yes, over to you, Kaushik.
Again, thank
I was
you so much.
waiting, when is Kaushik going to start talking?
Then I should have made him the host for today.
So anyway, thank you so much again, Alina. As you mentioned, the more we take care of our people, the more they take care of us. Right? That was beautiful what you said, and we resonated with that. Like, we love what you said. Basically, thank you so much for this, Alina.
Thank you so much for having me. And if there's any feedback like the community has for us and for me, and if they have any more questions, I'm sure they can, get it across to your platform and to me, and we'll be happy to answer any more questions that they have.
That's great, Alina. So what would be the right platform to reach you? I think it's Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram, if they DM us, we'll answer them. But for us as a whole also, they can get in touch with you and we can have feedback on the session also.
There you go. Alina being Alina on the community front. So yes, as Alina mentioned, what questions do you have for her? Are you a marketer and looking for a place where you belong? That is definitely the place to be. Get out there, go on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, any platform you're on, and tell us what were your top 2 takeaways. As Alina said, we are closely watching and listening to each and every one of you right here. So make sure you'll send it out. And hey, guess what? There might be a really cool goodie knocking your door as well. If you haven't already, make sure you bookmark this page and enable notifications. We have a ton of other cool sessions. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much.
Hold up, just before we leave, this summit will not be possible without you, our speakers, and our exquisite sponsors, HandySense. HandySense are the official partners of Twilio Sendgrid, arguably one of the best mailing tools out there, right? These cool emails we're sending you, as I mentioned, will send you through HandySense as well. So make sure you check them out. They make the life of all developers and marketers alike easy. It's completely plug and play. Make sure you check them out, as I mentioned. And for the summit attendees, they have this cool 6 months for free offer, and their pro plans are at 20% off as well. Make sure you find the link down there, and we will see you in the next session. Make sure you send out all your social shares with hashtag #ThankYouSocial, thanking the power of social and our digital heroes. I will see you in the next session.